They're not going to lunch anytime soon.
I got it. Might have been a little heavy with the turn. The clock.
Yeah, at least
4 minutes. Got a lead foot and a heavy hand.
No, that's not that bad. It's only for 2 minutes. I had 706 on the computer, 707.
Would have been done. Hopefully.
I know, get lost filming feed. How does your son like your baby?
When you're ready, Chair.
Ready? Okay. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk of the Board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter.
Present.
Freeholder Estrada.
Present?
Freeholder Hudak. Freeholder Jallo.
Here.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Present.
Freeholder Wright.
Here.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Here.
And Chairman Bergen.
Here.
Chairman, you have 8 freeholders present.
Thank you. Would you please lead us in the prayer and salute to the flag?
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk of the Board, would you please read the Statement of Compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act?
The Chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated, Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017 in the Administration Building, and further filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you. This is an agenda meeting. We will approve communication at our regular meeting. Note that will be Tuesday, November 21st, which is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We will not have a meeting next week. Now we move on to proposed resolutions. First, we have the Office of the Union County Sheriff. We have with us Sheriff Joseph Cryan. And while he's walking up, let me just take this opportunity to congratulate you on your new position.
Thank you, Chairman. We appreciate that, and thank you to the members of the board.
Senator-elect.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? And thank you for the privilege of standing before you today to talk for these 3 resolutions. The first before you is to increase by $542. We use the BEAST system, which is our evidence system, along with the prosecutors, and we exceeded by $542 over the reso. It's an ongoing, it's our evidence tracking system. The second is with Rapiscan. If you go into the new Cherry Street Courthouse complex, you'll see we use folding tables, which, by the way, was planned that way until we actually put it in, and now we're buying the roller beds that work with it. So nothing other than what we planned to make sure it fit and all those appropriate things. And then finally, item 3 is for our CLEAR program, and this is not, by the way, the CLEAR program that we talk about with addiction. We use a program, it's called CLEAR, the manufacturer is in front of you. It's a program that we're able to track down cell phones, financial information. We use it to find people that we're looking for, shall I say. So the additional cost in here is because others use it as well. Okay.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none?
Thanks for your
Thank
kind
you,
words,
Sheriff.
and take care, everybody.
Good luck.
Season.
Next, Office Union County Prosecutor, Acting Prosecutor Eisenhower.
Good evening, evening, Chairman, members of the board. The prosecutor's office has 5 resos on. I'll be happy to take any questions you may have.
Any questions for you? Seeing none? Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Department of Administrative Services, Director Yuska.
Good evening, members of the board. Department has 6 resolutions for consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions from the freeholders? Seeing none?
Thank you, sir.
Director.
Appreciate it.
Department of Economic Development, Deputy County Manager Wagner.
Good evening, freeholders. The Department of Economic Development has 3 resolutions for your consideration, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board? Thank you. Department of Engineering, Public Works, and Facilities Management, Director Graziano.
Good evening, Chairman, freeholders. I have 9 resolutions on for your consideration tonight, and I'll try and answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes, Freeholder Carter.
Director, can you go into 6, 7, and 8, please? A little bit?
6, 7, 8, sure. 6 is it's a bid for revac contracting. We're putting a culvert in Summit, in the city of Summit. Summit will be contributing $188,000 towards that. For a total from Union County spending is $698,715. There's some sanitary sewers underneath that street that have to be done by Summit themselves, so they're going to contribute all the money for that.
Okay, good.
And that's already in.
Good, thank you.
7 and 8 are 2 contracts we have with Panetta Industrial. We're extending the contracts 24 months each. One's for electromechanical systems, and the other one is for the jail lock and slider monitoring systems for the jail. I just want to touch on something, if I can, through you, Mr. Chairman. These contracts, I guess when I took over back in, 2010, when I took over facilities, these contracts were combined as one contract, and we were spending $432,000 a year. This contract now, we had split the contracts now for 2 separate contracts. Last year total, between the 2 contracts, it was only $115,000, and of that, we only spent about $10,000 or $15,000 on one of them, and a small amount in the other one. So we've been watching all this stuff, just so you guys have been asking us to do that. So we've been watching the contracts, cutting down on a lot of the pricing and all this stuff. So if we don't need it, we're not going to extend any contracts. We're not going to go out for more money than we need.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good
Question?
job.
Yes,
Tell
thank
the other
you, thank you.
directors that too.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Department of Finance, Director Taylor.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. The Department of Finance has 8 resolutions for your consideration this evening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Yes, Freeholder Estrada.
Yes, good evening. Number 1, now, was this part of the $72 million budget for this year, or this is in addition to this $3.3 million?
This is an additional $3.3 million. The state typically notifies us in early February that there is Chapter 12 funding available for this cycle, and in order to take advantage of the Chapter 12 funds, which offset the county college's capital projects, we have to offer this bond. The state pays for 50% of the debt service for this.
So some other words, 1.8 is going to be from our pocket, or the actual overall number is double that amount?
No, 1.5. It's basically the 1.8 is coming
1.8.
from us, and the state contributes the other half. Based upon the change in administration, we have to actually issue the debt now.
Okay, so some other words, the initial amount that you had out in terms of the budget is actually lessened by 1.8?
That's correct.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you, Freeholder. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I just have a quick question.
Yes, Freeholder Miller.
Director, I noticed there's no transfer resolution on here, and I think that's a testament to good budgeting. However, do you anticipate any in the coming few meetings for any kind of transfers? I know after November, the county, as townships, have the opportunity to transfer within between budgets individually? Do you anticipate anything coming?
We're still in communications with the various departments to understand their needs and then hopefully accommodate them with a transfer request.
Okay, so you're just evaluating that at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Thank you, Director.
You're welcome.
Director of Human Services, Director Anderson. Welcome again.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. The Department of Human Services has one resolution for your consideration this evening.
Any questions on this resolution? Vice Chairman.
Can you just elaborate on it, please?
Sure.
Something for first meeting, come on. Can't say all, stay quiet.
We are requesting rescinding of Resolution 2017-876 of professional services for the County Pediatric Immunization Center. When presenting to the MD, the physician in question, she declined to accept the contract. So we have been advised by the Deputy Counsel, Rose Comas, that we can utilize a physician that is currently under contract with Cornerstone. So we are rescinding the resolution and we will be proposing another agreement moving forward.
Thank you, Director. Thanks, Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Freeholder Estrada.
Okay, now I'm confused, because we had somebody that was already committed to the immunization clinic. And MD was responsible for, I think it's a part-time position or something, huh?
So for the part-time position, the young lady decided, based on this resolution, that she did not want to enter into agreement with us.
Oh, so she's no longer there?
She's no longer there.
And now we have this other person, this is the one you are...
So this is why we were requesting for a new resolution to propose someone new who decided not to. Could you repeat the question?
Okay, so in other words, this particular person was originally contracted to do this service, who is no longer, you're gonna resend this to offer to somebody else?
Yes.
But the money is the same, it's not gonna, it's always gonna be more? Because you're looking at monies from Cornerstone, which is not...
If I may, Chairman, can I refer to Deputy? Sure.
Yes, County Counsel?
Yeah, the rescission, we awarded this contract, so the money is committed. This rescission of this contract is basically to free up that money that was committed for Dr. Samofalov.
Right, to give it somebody else.
So we will be, at some point, another resolution will be put on an agenda for an award of contract to another doctor.
I understand, but what is the Cornerstone part of it? That's the part that I don't understand. That you mentioned that we're gonna use a doctor from Cornerstone.
They can use somebody from that pre-approved list.
If I may, Chairman, can I bring up Karen Dinsmore to answer that question, please?
This happened on my watch. The day after the resolution was passed at the last meeting, we presented a contract to this physician, and she could not produce the business registration certificate. She does not have her own practice, so she pulled out of the arrangement. We have a physician currently under contract with Cornerstone to provide services at Cornerstone. In order to avoid shutting down the immunization clinic, I researched with County Counsel's office whether I could utilize that physician if he was willing to provide services to the clinic. And actually, he's able to provide them right now under his existing agreement, so we did not have to shut down the clinic.
Okay, in terms of the money then, so that means that this particular 16,500 you're gonna hold until we find a total
Right.
replacement for that?
Yes,
Okay.
and then we will apply it to the new physician's agreement.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Director.
Good job, Director.
Director Zuber, Department of Parks and Recreation.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Freeholders, Department of Parks and Recreation has 3 items on tonight's agenda, and I'll try to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Director. Freeholders, any questions on these 3? Seeing none, thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Department of Public Safety, Director Moran.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Department of Public Safety has 2 resolutions for your consideration. I'll try and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Yes, Freeholder Estrada.
Yes, Director, can you walk us through number 1? What exactly are we achieving by using this priority dispatch AWA?
This is software that we had originally transferred licenses at no fee from Atlantic Health when they closed down their dispatch center. They transferred the licenses to us at no cost. And we've been using it for EMS dispatch. What this does is, regardless of what dispatcher is answering the call, it standardizes that call-taking procedure. So the system will prompt the dispatcher, depending on the call nature, on what questions to ask, and then we'll give pre-arrival instructions to that caller. You know, it's something as easy as somebody has a stomach ache, to instructing the dispatcher how to give instructions on how to deliver a baby or how to care for somebody having a heart attack. What the system does is it then prioritizes that call and tells the dispatcher whether an ambulance is required or a paramedic unit or both. So it's very important software. We use it every day and have used it for the last 6 years. We've found it highly reliable, and it improves the quality of our service for dispatch. What this allows us to do is put that software in our command post, so we're using the same software in the command post, and it also expands it to law enforcement. So we will be able to use it for law enforcement calls as well as EMS calls.
So the $176,377.50 will cover the ability to carry that license through all the department, in some other words.
Correct. And it will provide for 5 years worth of maintenance for the system.
Okay, and that's the maintenance part is for 1 year?
5 years.
5 years. Okay. Very good.
Any other questions? Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
That's interesting.
We now get to freeholder-sponsored resolutions. Any freeholders have any additional resolutions or friendly amendments to the pending resolutions?
Either one of us is okay.
You go first. We'll just work our way down.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to join in on number 2 for Track Friday and number 10 for Temple Bethel. If that's all right with you, Chairman. And I'm thinking for number 9, could we make that from you and the entire board?
Yes.
I think many of us would like to join in on that. Thank you.
Very good. Freeholder Carter?
I'd like to join in on number 2, and I was going to ask for number 9 also, and I will have some laboratories.
Thank you. Freeholder Mirabella?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to just mention that I have some position controls for our next meeting to be added. And while I have the floor, I'd like to congratulate Freeholder Estrada, Freeholder Hudak, Freeholder-elect Garrettson on their election and re-election. I predicted it several weeks ago, and I see it came true. I want to congratulate you as well, Mr. Chairman, for running a very spirited, very competitive race in a very short amount of time, jumping in the middle of that election, and coming within a very small margin of over 40,000 votes cast of unseating the minority leader. I thought that was a terrific effort and a great job by you. And unfortunately, the state will not have the benefit of your leadership, but the county will continue to have that. So it's from my personal standpoint, I'm glad you're staying with us. But I do want to recognize your effort and congratulate the winners, not only here at the county level, but throughout the county at the municipal level. Winners and losers, Republicans and Democrats will start working together from here on in.
Thank you, Freeholder.
Okay. Thank you.
And any further amendments? Yes, Freeholder Chalo.
Yes, I'd like to add a laudatory.
Laudatory.
Next meeting.
Another laudatory.
Laudatory? I'm sorry.
Oh, you were expecting a speech like we were?
No, no.
Like, out. I thought I'd just save it for next week. I didn't realize.
Any other friendly amendments? Okay. I would note that I may have one or two laudatories for the regular meeting in 2 weeks, and I also may have a resolution authorizing some minor changes to our lease with the DOT concerning the railroad right-of-way up in Summit and Springfield, depending on where that goes. Anyone else? Seeing none, could I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Again, for the public note, November 21st is our next meeting, Tuesday, November 21st.